service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
The Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour on ESPN is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. For all that you do, this Bud's for you. And by True Value Hardware. It's more than our name, it's our way of doing business. Welcome to Bally's Hotel Lanes in the biggest little city, Reno, Nevada, for the championship round finals of the WIBC Queens. And here's a look at today's 5 finalists bowling out of the number 5 position with 2 WIBC national titles to her credit. It's Nikki Gianulias. Her opponent in game number 1 will be 11-time professional champ Cindy Coburn. Next in line is 25-year-old Tish Johnson, the only left-hander in today's elite field. Former U.S. Open champ Wendy MacPherson out of San Diego, California, qualified number 2. And rounding out the top 5, last year's WIBC All-Events champion Leanne Barrette out of Oklahoma City. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, and welcome to Reno, Nevada. Working with me once again, Leila Wagner. And Leila, the Queens really is a different type of a format.
Yes, it is, Denny. 481 players started this tournament. It turned into a double elimination tournament with the cream rising to the top. But Reno was a perfect setting for it because it really turned out to be luck of the draw.
And, of course, Leanne Barrette, the first time she's ever bowled from the top seat position, she'll have to roll the dice today. How do you think she'll do?
Well, talking to Leanne a little bit prior to the telecast, she's a bit nervous, hopes to get off to a good start. She's afraid if she doesn't, things might not go so well for her in the end.
And who will Lady Luck side with this afternoon? We'll have to wait and find out. The opening match in the Queens coming up next between Nikki Gianulias and talented Cindy Coburn.
Budweiser and Bud Light join with USA Today to give baseball fans something new. Now, for the first time, you can also pick up an official All-Star fan ballot free wherever you pick up Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite Major League players. Then, test your baseball trivia and win valuable prizes.
Answers are in USA Today every day.
So fans, settle back with a cold Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite All-Stars and be part of a baseball tradition.
Decisions, decisions. A painting project is full of them. Formulas, finishes. This time make just one decision. To trust True Value Hardware stores and their spatter-resistant True Test Easy Care paint. Flat enamel is scrubbable, yet leaves a rich flat finish. Kitchens and bathrooms need scrubbable semi-gloss. Or choose flat finish for velvety walls. And one special ingredient sets Easy Care paint apart. The unique personal service you'll find only at True Value Hardware stores.
When will America's top male bowlers finally get the chance to compete with the best women bowlers in the United States?
On Saturday, August 13th, when the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour hosts the Gold Rush Mixed Doubles Shootout at Sam's Town in Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's right, gentlemen. Here's your chance now to team up with the best woman bowler you can find and bowl for $15,000 in first-place prize money. To cash for a minimum prize of $1,000 in the event, all you have to do is beat half of the tournament field twice. Beat half of the remaining field after each game, and you'll keep advancing toward the $15,000 first-place prize. It's an all-new mixed doubles tournament open to any man or woman bowler. Entry fee is $250 per bowler, and to enter, you'll have to call 1-800-333-LPBT. Visa and MasterCard are accepted. That's right, it's $15,000 on top. I'll be bowling with you, so it's $7,500 apiece, right?
No, Denny. If we're partners, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, but the difference is I can hook and strike, and you're just going to have to make the spares.
I think you have that wrong.
Welcome back, everyone. Denny Schreiner along with Leila Wagner, Cindy Coburn, and Nikki Gianulias from the opening match. And you don't get two better players for your money than these two in the opening game.
No, you don't, Denny. I tell you what, between the two of them, they have 66 television appearances. That's a lot.
That's Cindy Coburn with the edge over Nikki Gianulias. She is 3-0 against Nikki. Opening shot, and that's not exactly what Cindy was hoping for, but maybe that shot basically gives us an idea of what happened throughout the week. The lane conditions were fair, but a little bit tough from time to time, and the ladies did a lot of searching this week.
Very tough, Denny, especially from pair to pair. They seem to get real lined up on one pair, have to change, go to another pair, and they were totally lost. I saw them switching balls, doing everything they could, changing complete lines, going from the inside to the outside. They were searching.
Well, many times, as the fans watch at home, they say, boy, they only averaged 195 or 2-0, but I don't think the fans realize how difficult it is to move from pair to pair. And I don't think it's necessarily bad. I don't think medium-range scores are any less exciting, because as long as the matches are close, that's the key.
And that's exactly correct.
First look at Nikki Gianulias. And she's decided to play inside, and I asked her before the telecast, Nikki, where are you going to play? She said, Nikki, I've been playing all over all week, so who knows? We'll wait and see.
Nikki was actually the first player to go to the outside line in qualifying.
And here was her road to the championship round here. Leanne Barrette, pretty good match there, and then, of course, won her last game to qualify fifth here this afternoon.
She actually put Cindy Coburn into the loser's bracket in that third round. And then Cindy had a tough day yesterday, bowling 20 games to get here.
For those of you who aren't necessarily familiar with the Queens format, once you qualify, then you are in a match play situation with 64 players, and the matches are 4-game sets. And if you lose and you get tossed into that loser's bracket, you can bowl a long time before you make the telecast. And you're right, Cindy bowled 5 matches yesterday, and that's 20 games.
That's right.
But very pleased to be here nonetheless. Nikki Gianulias with 2 national WIBC titles to her credit. She won the doubles one year and then the team championship in 1986. Might also mention between these two players, 21 professional titles. Cindy with 11 and Nikki Gianulias with 10.
Actually, their statistics are very similar. Not only do they each share those 66 television appearances, Cindy's average on television is 215 and Nikki's is 217. Cindy's high game's 279, or 280, Nikki's is 279. So they're very comparable on television.
Well, as far as participating in the WIBC events, it's kind of a family affair for the Coburns. Cindy's mother, Doris, has captured 2 team events. She did so in 1970 and then also in 1972. And Cindy has yet to win a WIBC event. And so maybe today will be the day. This to kind of jump out on top. If she can double, and she does. Nicely done on the left-hand leg.
A double here was like a 5-bagger in a few of our other tournaments, Denny. She has to be pleased with that, especially so early in the match. Here, a nice view of her release there. The ball just driving right in. Can't get any better. All 10 right in the pit.
Winner of this match takes on Tish Johnson and Wendy MacPherson. And right up the line to Leanne Barrette. That's a tough road.
Yes, it is. A lot of tough competitors. Ooh.
Well, Nikki Gianulias, I think, in her mind, felt like she threw a pretty good shot and got the overreaction the last couple of feet, and that spells disaster early on in this match in the third.
Yes, she did. She hit the line she was trying for, and she sees the ball just fading, and all of a sudden, right before the head pin, it just makes a sharp turn to the left, and a big 4 split.
She started to run that shot out for a moment, so obviously she felt like she got all of it.
Well, it seemed to be the problem this week. The better you felt you threw it, the worse your results were. A lot of splits.
Gives it a run. Championship pair this week at Bally's Hotel Lanes, 29 and 30. Beautiful 50-lane facility. Might as well get it out early. Did you win or lose this week at the tables?
Actually, I'm a little bit ahead, and for 6 days, I feel like I won a lot, and I was just trying to stay even.
Of course, we'll both be leaving on the 2:05 flight, so hopefully we'll get out of town with at least our shirts, perhaps. But they do have slot machines at the airport, so that's the key.
Uh-oh.
Trailing by 26, it's time to get something started. Oh, right through the nose one more time, and Nikki Gianulias basically... it's an adventure for her right now on 29 and 30.
Once again, Denny, the inside of the lane seemed to be hooking quite a bit more than the outside. you really weren't sure what to do. She wants to move in a little bit, but then she's not going to get the ball to finish. So she's playing where she thinks she's got a good shot, and then she's getting overreaction. I wouldn't be surprised to see if we see Nikki move to the extreme outside line.
Still plenty of time left here in match number 1. Cindy Coburn leads by 26 sticks, and she'll come back and try and add to that lead if she strikes in the 4th. Stay tuned.
If your old air conditioner is on the way out, or if you're looking for someone to tune up that old cooling system, there's a man you should know. For all your summer cooling needs, call on the man who can, your Comfort Maker man. He can clean your old air conditioner, or he can install a high-efficiency Comfort Maker air conditioner, heat pump, or furnace to fit your budget. Your Comfort Maker man will recommend the exact size unit for your home, and your energy savings will never be greater. Call on the man who can, your Comfort Maker man. His service truck stands ready to roll when you call.
My place or your place?
My place, of course. My place has delicious food and cozy dining. Fresh homemade pizza with a variety of toppings oozing with mozzarella. Hot and cold subs, spaghetti, rigatoni, stromboli. And my place has specials like mouth-watering manicotti and fresh veal parmesan. Plus, you can eat and relax in the dining room, or my place has takeout available with a convenient drive-through window.
Let's go.
Where?
My place, of course, with 5 convenient locations.
Back in Reno, Nevada, opening match of the 27th annual WIBC Queens, live on ESPN. Plenty of women's professional bowling on ESPN coming up this summer and the fall tour. Trying to extend the lead to 36, and Cindy Coburn right now is locked in on the championship pair.
She looks really tough, Denny. And once you find your pair here, it seemed that the scores did start to rise.
And of course, the Queens is just a part of the WIBC national event, and believe it or not, 77,735 entrants. And that'll place this year's tournament in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest sports participation event in history.
All those women like to go to Reno.
Right. Okay. There you see, 36 pins, and Cindy trying to extend there.
Next year we'll be in Bismarck, North Dakota.
All right, Bismarck, Mandan. Yeah. We'll do a little moose hunting out there. What do you think?
And super shot by Cindy. I tell you what, by the looks of it, she is going to be tough today.
Nikki Gianulias going to have to dig herself out of a very deep hole here, and there you see just an absolute perfect shot.
Right in the 1-3 pocket, almost leaving that solid 7, and she's coming. Come on. Yeah.
Well, she got in lots of practice yesterday with those 20 games. I talked to her through some of the last couple of matches that she bowled, and they were all fairly close, too. I mean, nobody gave her anything. Now, there you see the over-adjustment, getting it out a little bit too far. She double pinochled the last time on lane 30, and that's easy to do.
Yes, it was. Nikki was really wanting to come out and better her second-place finish she had in 1982 against Katsuko Sugimoto. A very sad loss for her there. It was 160 to 137, so we saw some low scores back in 1982 as well.
Her career television match play record, 21-27. The bad news is she's lost 7 consecutive matches on television, 9 of her last 10.
Nikki really ran into some bulldozers back in 86 on television in the fall. She really was beat bad.
2-4-5, not the easiest spare in the world to convert, but there you see, perfect.
Yes, and spares this week were very hard.
Nikki's parents, George and Kathy, here this afternoon, along with her brother and sister, Jimmy and Natalie. The Gianulias family. The contingent is here in Reno.
Well, from close by Vallejo, California, so they didn't have too far to go.
9 years she's been a professional and been very productive in that past decade. There's a little help. Gets that 5-pin to dance a little bit, and so she's still alive. But at this point in time, Cindy Coburn works on the 4-bagger, a couple of more strikes, and Nikki Gianulias will be done for the afternoon.
Cindy wanting to keep the pressure on Nikki. All she's thinking about is continuing those strikes. See a good shot of Cindy's stance. She is very, very far back on the approach, using all of the approach. She has a great deep knee bend. Good follow through. Leaving a weak 10. Not quite getting the finish on the ball. 6 pins laying in the channel.
Cindy qualifying in 9th place this week. And she averaged just a fraction less than 197.
Here you can see the ball not quite driving, almost deflecting as it hits the pocket, throwing the 6 pin into the 10. That 5 barely got the 8.
Tell you what I like most about her game is that free arm swing, and when she gets her timing going, just lots of fun to watch.
Well, Cindy was mentioning she had shoulder problems back about a year ago, and she's just now overcoming them through acupuncture and all, and she's starting to feel loose again, and keeping that arm swing free is a key in her game, especially.
Plenty of money on top to shoot for, $10,000 plus for the winner of this year's Queens.
Got through that ball a little bit better, Denny, and was able to get the 10 out.
Well, she's only missed the pocket one time, and she leads at this point by 48. So she's in comfortable command.
The hammer hits harder. When the team is counting on you, only the best will do. The best hammer and nail bowling balls and accessories, sold at fine pro shops everywhere.
My husband Ted used to be the world's worst barbecuer until we got this charbroil gas grill. Now, he's a regular barbecue genius. You see, a charbroil has this flare fighter system that helps him control his habit of burning expensive meat. But the real secret is these charcoal briquettes. Only charbroil gas grills have them. They give everything Ted cooks a real charcoal taste. Yep, real charcoal taste. And 3 nights a week out of the kitchen, he's not the only genius in this family.
And while we were away on the right-hand lane, the 2-4-5 one more time for Nikki Gianulias. This time she opts to shoot it a little bit to the left.
That's what I meant about the spare shooting. I don't think she opted to shoot it that way. That's just how it came out. You never really knew what the ball was going to do this week.
I already mentioned that $10,000 plus on top of the winner of the Queens of the WIBC overall payout, $1,548,034. Oh my goodness, that's the second highest prize fund in WIBC championship tournament history.
And a lot of people sharing that prize money, Denny, and that's what's so wonderful about this tournament and why it draws so many entries.
A little more speed on the left-hand lane, but the result, not exactly what Nikki Gianulias was hoping for, and at this point in time, it would appear as if Cindy Coburn will win the opening game and advance into match number 2 against a tough competitor in Tish Johnson.
We really did see all the pros rise to the top in this field, Denny, and almost had an amateur make it. However, just didn't quite get there. It's where the pros, all these women are professional bowlers. They don't really have another job, and it's tough to beat them when they get under pressure.
Well, there you can see the disappointment written all over Nikki's face. I think she felt coming in that she had a pretty good opportunity, and it's difficult when you get moving in the wrong direction on television, those match play records. All the great players go through the trends, the up and down swings, and the minute she wins a couple of games, she'll probably win 8 or 9 in a row by the time it's all over.
That's true. Nikki had one other thing against her. The high qualifier in this tournament, which she was for qualifying, has never won the Queens, and still has never won the Queens.
Apparently so. Of course, a lot of that can be traced back to the fact that for many years, out of the 27, there hasn't been a national television show. But you are correct. Number 1 qualifier has never won, but she's the first number 1 qualifier ever to make the televised finals.
That's true.
Yeah. So that in itself. Cindy with a 7-2 match play record to qualify number 4 this week. And A two-ball proponent, one for the strikes, one for the spares. Your thoughts there?
That's right. Cindy's opted to take a harder ball, go more direct towards her spares, cut out any chance of chopping and hooking it by it, definitely towards the right-handed spares.
Coburn family, a bowling family. I know Cindy's sister has also won a professional title, and her mother Doris, a wonderful bowler indeed. And geez, we can't forget Father Frank, because he's the one that's basically taught them all how to play.
That's right. Frank's been behind them the whole way. The 8-pin there, slow to go. However, at this point in the match, it really didn't matter.
Nope, that's going to lock up the match. At this point, Cindy operating at a possible 249 clip. If she would just spare and strike, it would be 229. And for Nikki Gianulias, the best possible score would be 187. Funny, because this week there were some very close matches. There were some very lopsided matches.
Yes, there were. And a super shot by Nikki.
Never fails, though.
No, it doesn't.
When it's over. You loosen up just a little bit, relax, get a little better roll.
You have to be so perfect out here, Denny, and just shows you how consistent Cindy Coburn is, because you cannot miss too much to the right or to the left, no matter where you're playing on the lanes.
I think for a national championship that the lane should be very difficult. I think you should have to utilize all of your abilities. And there you see what Nikki earned for her week's work here in Reno. There's that 4-pin trip. Where was it a little while ago? That's what Nikki's thinking to herself.
See, moving a little bit deeper to make the adjustment for those splits, she was able to get into the groove here. A little bit late, though. Those games go too fast.
Well, it's hard to believe Nikki's only 28 years old, and she's already been out 9 years bowling professional.
Her and I, Danny, came out at the same time. I'm only 27, and I've been out 9 years.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were like 19 or 20.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, well. There you have it. 2-4-5 again. Not a popular spare this afternoon for Nikki Gianulias, but you see a little smirk on her face thinking, geez, I think probably the worst thing that you feel is you spend all week getting there and you go out and get your one shot and then you shoot 172nd.
It goes over so fast, too. That 15 minutes is gone. Like you said, you spend all week.
Then you have to explain to everybody all over the country why you shot 170. But it's nice just to be there.
That's right.
So the opening match. At this point, we'll go to Cindy Coburn. Cindy will finish out the 10th frame. And next in line, the left-hander, Tish Johnson.
And Tish looked very, very tough yesterday. She made some ball changes, and she just creamed them yesterday.
She had a couple of matches where she shot 950 for 4 games.
Shot a high game of 290, the highest game of the tournament.
That was against Cindy Coburn.
Was it?
Yeah. That's probably what Cindy's thinking. Boy, I hope Tish is not throwing the ball exactly the way she did yesterday. But right now, Cindy Coburn making the championship pair look fairly easy.
She sure is. I don't think I hit that pair, Denny.
29-30? Well, see, you bowl 2 4-game rounds of qualifying,
right,
is that correct? Okay.
Right, and then they cut to 64.
And then the matches begin. Tournament very well received here in the Reno area. Yeah, a little more speed there, and that's not the way you want to end the game, but I guess your concentration level probably drops a little bit, too, when you've got it in the wood already.
That, or you also maybe try something just a little bit different just to see exactly how much area you might have. This was a definite common split or spare this week, the 1-2-4. If you missed it all to the right or got a little bit fast, it was inevitable that you would leave that.
And so Cindy Coburn wins game number 1, 236 to 174, and she'll advance in the 1988 WIBC Queens event against Tish Johnson out of Southern California.
Mark! Hey, Mark! I see you got one of those rhinos. Next thing you know, he's going to tell us it's got horns.
Unleash your game. Roll a rhino. The Rhino. From Brunswick, a urethane ball designed for professional and high-performance bowling.
When you come home from Kmart, you can feel very good about what you bought. Because along with the best brand names and the lowest prices in town, you have the assurance that if anything you buy at Kmart isn't right, for any reason, we'll exchange it or give you your money back. No questions asked.
This thing doesn't catch things. Well, let's find one that does.
Kmart. Satisfaction always.
Kmart, the saving place, and more.
Paris, home of the Arc de Triomphe and the French Open, where it takes a monumental effort to become triumphant. Defending champions Yvonne Lendl and Steffi Graf are the current pillars of the game, and everyone's trying to knock them down. It's a gritty battle in the second Grand Slam event of the year, the French Open Championship. Monday, May 23rd through the semifinals, June 3rd. Live on ESPN.
Tish Johnson finishing up her practice shots and getting prepared here for game number 2. And, of course, don't forget, French Open coverage live May 23rd on ESPN. It begins at 9 a.m., and that's the second leg of the Grand Slam. Yvonne Lendl and Steffi Graf, the defending champs, all that French Open clay court tennis action coming your way on ESPN. You like the clay courts, don't you, Leanna?
Oh, definitely.
What about the clay lanes?
I can do without the clay lanes.
Okay.
I'd like to bowl for their prize money.
I was going to say, you would appear to me to be a great baseliner. That baseline backhand, and right?
I used to play.
I'm
I
sure
was
you
real
did.
young.
Were you?
Real young. I even took tennis lessons once.
Yep. That's when they told you, geez, Leanna, I think you ought to work on the bowling.
You have to grow up in a city where there's a lot of warm weather.
Sure.
I grew up in Seattle, and tennis was for indoors.
Mm-hmm. There you see a good look at those on hand here this afternoon to watch the bowling. Cindy Coburn and Tish Johnson. You can't say enough about the 5 finalists for today's telecast because you're looking at 5 of the best women professional players anywhere in the world.
That's right. However, these two have never met on television, Denny. So get to see what happens for the
There's a first time for everything.
That's right.
Rather easy victory in the opening game. Cindy Coburn bowled awfully well. Hung up in the old thumb hole there. Needs a break. And well, the 6-pin, the last to tumble, but Cindy walks back with a smile. Better take some tape out or put some in.
I tell you what, I saw a lot of Brooklyns go down this week in some of those tight matches. Anything can happen. And yes, you're right. She did hang up in that one.
What does that do to an opponent when you throw an absolutely horrible shot and get away with it?
Well, it actually does. You have to just try to get it out of your mind. It puts some bad thoughts in your mind if you let it. You're thinking, oh, great, she's got the break right off the bat. What is it going to take for me to strike? And we know Tish really hasn't had that much luck on television, so she really has to block that out.
Tish Johnson, 25 years of age, out of Downey, California, with 5 pro titles to her credit. She's already won once here in 1988.
Tish struggled a little bit in qualifying, Denny, almost not making the qualifying cut. However, she made a ball change yesterday and actually drilled up a new ball. She said she needed to get the ball down on the lane sooner and get it into a roll quicker. So it really paid off for her yesterday.
Well, excellent shot on lane 29. A fiery competitor, but a player who I think really enjoys herself out on the lanes.
Oh, yes, she does. And here's a super shot by Tish Johnson right here. 1-2 pocket. Can't get any better. And there you see her emotions. She likes to run them out and get the crowd involved.
Pins falling in the background, provided by Wendy MacPherson, who is next in line here in the Queens. Now, that one set a little bit short through the nose, and Cindy walks away thinking, well, this is not exactly the way I wanted to start match number 2.
No, she threw 7 strikes in the first game, and 4 of them were in the first 5 frames. So you see her opting to use that harder ball towards that 6-10 spare. Oh, and she almost chopped it with the harder ball.
Temperatures this week in the area, not too bad. And, of course, in the bowling center, a nice climate. There you see the road to the finals, and it was a long one. Won 5 consecutive matches before Tish lost, or I was going to say Tish Johnson beat her last night. That was between 3rd and 4th place. Had Cindy won, she would have qualified number 3. Once you lose a match, then the possibility of finishing 1st or 2nd for the show is no longer there.
Cindy looking like she let up on her speed a little bit on that shot. That 1-2-4 that she left in the 10th frame may be going through her head. Not to send the ball straight down or a little bit fast. She's making that adjustment, pulling the ball to the left a little bit more.
What about the opportunity for your thumb to change sizes during the timeout, the commercial timeout? And a lot of people don't realize how that happens, too. The thumb goes up and down.
Yes, it does. You get a completely different feel of the ball, as you saw Cindy hanging up in the first shot. A little bit of weight makes a big difference.
Tish Johnson making her 25th career national television appearance. Overall, the record 14-21. In 1988, she has won 1 and lost 1. One of those was for a title.
This is her 6th WIBC Queens appearance. However, she's never made it this far.
Well, you really got a varied cast, too, when you consider the fact that Wendy MacPherson is a fairly straight player, likes to play in the track area for the most part, and then on top of the stack this week, Leanne Barrette, who really turns it and arcs the ball, and Cindy's somewhere in between. Nikki Gianulias can hook it, and then, of course, the left-hander. So a little bit of everything this week.
Yes, it is. You can't say one type of player dominated this week. It was just whoever could get lined up and felt the best with their particular game. And like I said before, it's luck of the draw, who you meet in those matches. I saw some excellent players go out with some real good matches.
I think what's enjoyable about the Queens event, too, and the same with the ABC Masters, is it's the fact that some of the finest amateur players in the United States get a chance to bowl against the professionals. Ooh, nice shot on the left-hand lane, but the solid 7.
Tish up on her tiptoes there.
Tish Johnson still leading by 2 pins, and wouldn't surprise me if this one went right down to the 10th frame.
I think this one has a very good chance of it.
Tish qualified 13th with an 8-game total of 1547 in match play 7-1, losing to Nikki Gianulias.
Nikki put both Cindy and Tish into the loser's bracket.
Well, she picks up the 7-pin, and it's a 2-pin game at this point, and so stay tuned. This one, I have a feeling, might go right down to the wire. You want anything? How about a light?
Whoa. Oh, Bob. Could you make that a Bud Light?
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Did you see? No.
Did you? No. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
There's a level of performance that separates the good from the great. That's why Carmen Salvino designed the Ebonite Thunderbolt. The exclusive power core increases gyroscopic action for a sharper hook on heavy oil. And the Thunderbolt rolls farther before hooking, so it hits harder for less deflection and more striking power. The difference between good and great is the power of the Thunderbolt.
And we're back, and the first major mistake of match number 2 for Cindy Coburn as she misses the spare in the 4th and throws the door wide open for Tish Johnson. It doesn't appear as if her timing is what it was in the opening game.
No, it doesn't, Denny. It looks like Cindy's a little bit fast this line, at least on that shot, and she's got a great push away. However, if her push away doesn't get started in time with her feet, causes her to be off at the line. And it's easy to do out here when you're not in dead stroke. Looked like she had a great shot the first game. The minute that timing goes, now she's all over the place. Good shot there at her push away. And great knee bend. She got through that one good.
And she gets a little help as the 5 and the 7 fall in unison, and maybe that's what she needed to loosen up a little bit.
Here you'll see it. Nice push away. very strong. And it was a good shot here. You can see she gets through the ball, deep, deep knee bend, doesn't fall off balance.
Tish Johnson in the 5th, and the 6th pin trickles down, and it's a 13-pin advantage. We'll make that 16 pins right now for Tish Johnson, and could go to 26 if she would strike here.
Freddie Borden told me tripping those 4 pins were the key for the right-handers. I guess tripping the 6 pins would be the key here for Tish.
Well, just ask Billy Hardwick what it meant to him to trip that 4 a few times. It makes all the difference in the world. That slightly high hit, if you can get that 4 pin to fall, you're in the money.
Little light there. Tish falling off balance a little fast. Get a little bit pumped up on this condition, Denny, and you're in trouble. You have to really, really keep your timing. Here you'll see her fall off balance just a little bit. Her shoulder opening up to the left. And the ball not quite making it up there.
That ball went long for a long time.
Yes, it did.
Very difficult conversion here.
Looks great. What a great shot.
Textbook fashion, and Tish Johnson will walk away from that realizing that she got away with 1.
Here you can see the ball just hitting hit the 2 pins behind it, the 3 and the 9, and sending the ball into the 10.
Sometimes when you convert something like that, it's as big as a double.
Oh, yes, it is.
Avoiding the open frame and losing the momentum. Now back to Cindy Coburn in the 6th, and she needs a double.
Cindy hanging up in that shot, and see it again. However, she got away with it.
I don't think she necessarily wanted to loft it that far out on the lane.
No, that's not a characteristic of her game.
No, it's not.
I thought most of the players this week were setting the ball fairly short, especially playing the outside lines, the one that we're playing out there. Getting to the ball, getting to a roll a little bit quicker, getting a better reaction. Deep concentration. Cindy has one of the best concentrations.
Could take the lead with a strike here. Stood up on it a little bit. Raised up a touch and got away with just the 6 pin.
Raising up at the line caused you to pull the ball. And that's exactly what she did.
Wendy MacPherson out of San Diego, California, qualified number 2, and Leanne Barrette, only 20 years of age, out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the top seed for this afternoon's WIBC Queens Championship. And we'll be back with more of match number 2 right after this.
Prism brings you greetings from Hollywood. Now get 2 months of all the glitter, all the glamour of Tinseltown for the price of 1. Through the modern miracle of cable TV, Prism brings great movies into your living room. In fact, Prism is mostly movies. This month, Prism has the year's hottest movie, Dirty Dancing. And see Michael J. Fox in The Secret of My Success. But that's not all. With Prism, you'll also see exclusive home team home games, all in the comfort of your own home. Operators are standing by, so call this number and order Prism. You'll get 2 months for the price of 1. It's like a month of Prism free. Call now and get special savings on installation, and you'll get action, adventure, and your favorite stars from the silver screen. You may never stand in line at the box office again, and your family will love you for it. Prism, movies, 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 and exclusive home team sports.
And we're back in Reno, Nevada. Spare up in the 7th frame, converting the 3-9 on the right-hand lane, and Tish Johnson leads by a scant 5 pins. And so we're heading down to the home stretch in match number 2.
Virtually the same shot 2 times in a row for Tish. However, she got the break on lane 30 and got out the 10, making her conversion a little bit easier.
The 1988 edition of the WIBC Queens, the 27th annual. In in this event. First one started back in 1961, and they bowled it at North Crest Lanes in Wayne, Indiana. Janet Harmon out of Los Angeles won the very first, won $1,000. Minimum of $10,000 to win this time. Cindy Coburn concentrating and probably praying a little bit at the same time.
Well, it's a close match. She's not out of it. She's just trying to get her timing back, and she's trying to remember what she did in the first game.
Tish Johnson's really put on a clinic here for picking up the difficult spares.
Yes, she has. I tell you what, that is textbook style right here. She covers all 4 pins with the ball.
One thing is for sure, if you hit all 4 with the ball, they're going to go down.
Yeah.
Cindy Coburn now shooting in the 8th. And this one beginning to get a little testy.
A strike here puts her only 1 pin behind Tish, and that's it.
Well, whatever she lost, she apparently has found. Opening game, she bowled just absolutely super.
Another shot at Cindy's approach. Looks like she's got her timing back. Great arm swing, good knee bend. She stays down with the shot and just buries it. Sitting down sometimes, putting your head down, concentrating like that. That's what it takes.
Well, they say the players that operate best on national television are those that just simply block everything out except for one shot at a time, and that's it. I think that's the beauty of the sport of bowling on television, too, is you get a chance to really see the emotions, the highs and lows. Could be another high for Cindy Coburn, and she was a touch high and couldn't trip the 4. That would have been a big strike.
She was looking for that one. She thought she threw it good, and she did. Ball just breaking a little bit too high, right before the pocket, leaving her with a 4 pin.
Well, if Cindy would spare and strike out, it would be a possible 2-0-2 game. On the other side of the coin.
At this point, Tish almost has to just match what Cindy does.
Exactly, because she leads by a pin.
Except Tish gets to go first, so I guess Cindy has to match what Tish does.
The advantage there being finish first and post the score?
Exactly. However, that is Cindy's 9th frame, and Tish is now up in the 9th. So Tish can lock Cindy out with 4 strikes.
Could shoot 213 if she would take this one right to the wall.
And that's precisely what Tish wants to do.
Yeah, don't give Cindy Coburn an opportunity to walk back through the door, right? Second time, she'll normally come up and get you. Been an excellent match since the opening frame in this one.
Yes, it is. Tish taking a little extra time. Concentration there. Looks good. She stayed with that one, and she got the pins dancing.
Now the foundation frame got a strike in the 9th to set yourself up in the 10th.
1 strike here would force Cindy Coburn to get 2 in the 10th. This is a big ball for her. Here you can see the pins will start dancing. A lot of pin action.
I think Tish just really bowling with so much confidence, having won already this year and had a super year in '87. And you can see that she's just getting better and better. And right now could really make life difficult for Cindy Coburn. And she gets the wall shot. And right at this point in time, Tish Johnson has all the mo.
9 pins, and we have a possible tie, Denny. A strike right here wraps it up.
Tish looking up and thanking the heavens and also scanning the monitors to find out exactly what the score is. So she's very well aware at this point of what she needs to lock Cindy Coburn out.
She's been in this position, she knows. She knows what it's going to take.
Cindy going to need some help from Tish Johnson to stay alive.
Setting that ball short, you could hear it go down. Not getting through that at all.
Well, Tish Johnson can't believe it. If she spares, she shoots an even 200 game.
Getting to the line a little bit fast, not getting through it, and the ball just sailing to the left on her.
Well, that's what happens when the adrenaline starts to flow. You take off and not real happy with that shot under pressure. I think that the professionals just ask for an opportunity to get up in the 10th frame and win their match. And when you don't take advantage of it, you got nobody to blame but yourself.
That's right. Can't say, well, I didn't have a chance.
So it's 200 for Tish Johnson. And for Cindy Coburn, very simple. She needs 2 strikes and 9 to shoot 201. Wiping the lane conditioner off the ball. Good dry track. Make sure you get that reaction in the back end.
And out here, it's very important to get that back end reaction. We didn't see too much of it all week.
And by that, we're meaning the last 15 feet of the lane to make sure the ball really starts to hook and roll and hit the pins. But she gets an opportunity to move on into the semifinal game against another Californian, Wendy MacPherson. Early on, but a very gritty performer. And there you see, $3,520 for her efforts. And I think she'll walk away wishing that she had that first shot in the 10th back.
Oh, I'm sure she will. And there's the shot, she says, of course.
And so we now have a winner in Tish Johnson, and she'll advance into the semifinal game here in Reno, Nevada. That's coming up next against Wendy MacPherson.
The hammer hits harder. When the team is counting on you, only the best will do. Best hammer and nail bowling balls and accessories sold at fine pro shops everywhere.
It's time to visit one of the world's great garden spots. The Lawn and Garden Department at your local True Value hardware store, where you'll find Gilbert & Bennett's cedar lawn edging with stakes for only $5.99. Then take care of lawn and garden pests with orthodiazonon soil and turf insect control. And aerate, cultivate, and weed with the Scott's Crumbler. It comes with a 5-foot snap lock handle, and it's just $29.95 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The upset of the week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. At 73 years of age, trainer Charlie Whittingham had never won a Kentucky Oaks race. Whittingham's entry this year was 3-year-old filly Goodbye Halo, the only horse this year to defeat the eventual Kentucky Derby champ, Winning Colors. Down the stretch, she outdistances her stablemate, Jeannie Jones, and the race favorite, Willa on the Move, for the victory at the Kentucky Oaks. Our Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Hey, I have to get ready for the party, too, you know.
I don't know if I'm going.
Is something wrong?
Kind of sick.
Diarrhea?
Mm-hmm.
I know what you need. It's in the medicine cabinet.
Pepto.
Here it comes. The soothing relief of Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need.
Feeling better?
Let's party.
Go. A sport for all seasons. And 12 months a year, ESPN brings you the best of the PGA Tour. Coverage from 3 of golf's Grand Slam events, the finest Lady Lynxsters, and those swinging seniors. Join the world's greatest golfers for heart-stopping and heart-breaking thrills all year long. For live coverage that's far better than par for the course, ESPN.
And there, of course, is the pose that Leila's mother loves just so well, the one at the back of her head.
That's not nice. This is what we get to see.
That's right. Great.
Not much.
Great view from up here. And Tish Johnson and Wendy MacPherson ready for the semifinal game. Don't forget, coming up next on ESPN, live second-round coverage of the United Hospitals Classic. And there's a trio tied at the top. Bruce Crampton, Billy Casper, and Lou Graham. They're all -2, and 6 players are 1 under. So it's a dogfight in the greater Philadelphia area. That's coming up next.
Tish Johnson defeating Cindy Coburn in her first match, the second match of the day, 200 to 190. And that's what her opponent did to her the first frame last game.
Well, was it my imagination? Did Tish try and tighten things up a little bit line-wise? It looked like she tried to move a little bit on the lane to her right, but got an overreaction. So right now, she's kind of fishing on the championship pair.
First look at a former U.S. Open champion. She won that event as an amateur.
A strong television player. This lady is 7-0 in her television record.
Opening shot, that one just a touch light.
Actually, not playing in or out. That was closer to the second arrow for Wendy. She was out a bit farther yesterday.
Just 21 years of age, already with 2 professional titles.
A nice young lady.
Mm-hmm. Very personable.
Mm-hmm. Hoping for the break on the spare, and that's exactly what she got. That 2-pin just toppling there.
Contemplating the shot on the left-hand lane, and there were 5 consecutive victories. And then, of course, to nail down the #1 seed, well, she got beat up pretty badly by Leanne Barrette, 874 to 726.
Leanne got very lined up yesterday.
Caught fire late in the afternoon.
Yes, she did. Making the adjustment for the light hit, crossing over to the left side. Kind of confused.
Yeah, the look in her eyes right now is, oh, brother, what happened there?
Like you said, some of these pairs out here, the girls either got locked in real quick or didn't get locked in at all. Here you can see pulling the ball to the left. However, that was the shot you really were playing this week. But if you pulled a little bit too far, you were in trouble.
And so, a couple of spares for Wendy MacPherson, who breathes a sigh of relief. Tish Johnson opting to slow things down just a touch, gathering her thoughts.
So far, Denny, the players have finished as they qualified. Nikki has finished in the #5 position, where she qualified, and Cindy in the #4 position. And I'm sure Tish would like to change that.
Once again, that tricky cross-alley spare.
We saw her convert it last game. We'll see if she can do it twice in a row.
So you wouldn't want to make a living having to pick those up on national television.
Anytime.
Gray hair is a definite possibility the more you shoot at these babies.
You get those 4-pin spares and you're talking trouble.
Yeah, sooner or later they're going to jump up and bite you, and that's exactly what happened. Tish kind of shirks and figures, well, we'll give it one more try on the left-hand lane.
The ball finishing right towards the pins, just chopping off the 2-8. She couldn't have chopped that any cleaner.
3 opening victories, and then a loss, as we've already mentioned, to Nikki Gianulias. And then for Tish Johnson, she really strapped it on and won 4 consecutive games to qualify #3.
Against some very fine players there at the end, too.
Much better shot there on the left-hand lane, a little more speed. I have a feeling she went back to the original line there on lane 29, fishing around perhaps in the opening shot. I think most people don't realize at home, too, that the players appear to be standing in the same spot with their feet and throwing the ball at the same area, but many times they're making those subtle adjustments from shot to shot.
Those subtle adjustments can be from just 2 boards on the approach to 1 board out on the lane.
Nice thing to be able to do is sit on the bench and then gain a 13-pin lead. Can she take advantage of the break? Once again, same shot, and does get an opportunity to knock the washout out.
Wendy definitely needing to make an adjustment here. Looks like she needs to get outside farther. At least here you see the ball just sliding, never really getting into that good roll. However, she did get the break. The 10-pin falls.
The 1-2-8 for the second consecutive time on lane 30.
You can see the ring of lane conditioner around Wendy's ball. We saw her almost miss it the other direction, and there you see the difference in the lane. The middle lane is hooking quite a bit. You get it a little too soon, and the ball just goes right to the left.
This one might be better billed as survival of the fittest.
That's what it took.
We've already mentioned plenty of women's professional bowling, and of course the PBA Tour coming up on ESPN this summer, and the ladies, the LPBT Summer Tour starts on July 14th on ESPN.
That was a better shot by Wendy. She thought that ball was going to finish a little harder. It did. She's close. Leaving herself with a dinner bucket, as you'd say.
Well, the count hasn't been too good. 7 in the opening frame, 9, 7, and then 6. And Wendy shaking her head. At this point in time, Leila, might you just changed balls completely, or you know, obviously she knows Tish is struggling a little bit too. Do you just kind of hang in there and try and hit the head pin, or what? What's your strategy at this point?
Well, since Tish is struggling too, you know, she's got an idea what this ball is going to do. To actually pick up a new ball now, it would take her 2 or 3 more frames to figure out what that ball is going to do. I think she'll stay with this one.
Well, both players right now trying to figure out lanes 29 and 30, and we'll be back to find out whether they do or not right after this.
When will America's top male bowlers finally get the chance to compete with the best women bowlers in the United States?
On Saturday, August 13th, when the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour hosts the Gold Rush Mixed Doubles Shootout at Samstown in Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's right, gentlemen. Here's your chance now to team up with the best woman bowler you can find and bowl for $15,000 in first-place prize money. To cash for a minimum prize of $1,000 in the event, all you have to do is beat half of the tournament field twice. Beat half of the remaining field after each game, and you'll keep advancing toward the $15,000 first-place prize. It's an all-new mixed doubles tournament open to any man or woman bowler. Entry fee is $250 per bowler, and to enter, you'll have to call 1-800-333-LPBT. Visa and MasterCard are accepted. That's right, it's $15,000 on top. I'll be bowling with you, so it's $7,500 apiece, right?
No, Danny. If we're partners, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, but the difference is I can hook and strike, and you're just going to have to make the spares.
I think you have that wrong.
Tish Johnson looking for 3 in a row. This one through the nose. Well, she struck in the 4th through an excellent shot, but she has now regained the lead here in the semifinal match. And it hasn't come easy. And down to the left here, beautiful Valley Hotel lanes. Leanne Barrette, the number 1 seed, as Wendy MacPherson scans the scoreboard.
It's appearing, Denny, once you have it, once you don't. That's what the players are doing out here. Looked like Tish had it, and then she didn't. We'll be excited to come back in the summer and start at the Fairlanes Capital Classic in Hyattsville, Maryland, July 10th through the 14th. We go on to Michigan, and then on to South Bend. After that, we have the Fairlanes Denver Classic. From there to warm Tempe, Arizona. And finishing up with our $60,000 Brunswick LPBT National Doubles, which is a fun event. And Paula and I will be trying to do as well as we did last year.
That's right, your partner Paula Drake and all those championship rounds seen on ESPN this summer. The PBA Tour. Summer Tour starts Wednesday night, June 15th. 12 consecutive Wednesday evenings. So plenty of bowling on ESPN this coming summer. And there you see, excellent shot by Wendy MacPherson. And a double right now would go a long way for that young 21-year-old right-hander.
Yes, it would. Tish has lost quite a bit in count. Also, Wendy has. However, Tish has that open frame and the double. So it turns out to be a fairly even match. Looking for the double right here. And she got the break on the Brooklyn. She just says, all right, I'll take it.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
That's right. Crossing over a little bit to the left-hand side when you're playing that point line. Very easy to do. And she says, yeah, thank you.
They all look the same on the electronic scoreboard.
That's right. Well, remember, Tish carried that first one in the first frame here.
Through the nose and the 4-pin stands. If the players have done one thing fairly effectively today, it's not leave the big gaping splits. Cindy left one, and Nikki Gianulias left a double pinochle. Other than that,
that was my problem.
Too many of those.
Too many of those big splits.
Yeah, when you got 4 or more and they're divided by space, you got some problems.
My spare shooting was excellent. Those split shooting needs some practice.
The winner of this next match will collect a check for a minimum of $10,000. Tish Johnson out of Downey, California. Just recently sold her pro shop interest there, but Tish told me that someday she's hopefully going to get back involved in the pro shop business.
Denny, the tour is looking so great now with the amount of tournaments on ESPN, and all these girls are actually quitting their side jobs to bowl full-time. As I've taken a 6-month leave as well.
That's right.
To compete full-time. It's worth it now. It's starting to get better.
Yeah, but see, what am I going to do now when I fly American and you're not there as a flight attendant?
Well, you'll just have to be nice
drinks,
to
right?
the other flight attendants.
Oh, well. Well, I think you're right, though. I think, and really to compete at that high a level, you pretty much, even during the off time, have to work on your game and improve it and continue to try and develop because the competition on the LPBT Tour continues to get better and better and better.
And we see players coming back like Donna Adamek, who was in school, has quit school, and she's coming back too.
And speaking of coming back, we will be back in just a moment or so. It's a 10-pin lead for Wendy MacPherson, and she's on a double, so stay tuned.
Well, you're the kind of man that likes to do things your own way. And you can bet it's right when you get through. Ooh, and there's a beer that always fits right in your hand. 'Cause you're a bud man, and this bud's for you. Oh, you do. This bud's for you.
My husband Ted used to be the world's worst barbecuer until we got this charbroil gas grill. Now, he's a regular barbecue genius. You see, a charbroil has this flare fighter system that helps him control his habit of burning expensive meat. But the real secret is these charcoal briquettes. Only charbroil gas grills have them. They give everything Ted cooks a real charcoal taste. Yep, real charcoal taste. And 3 nights a week out of the kitchen, he's not the only genius in this family.
Cross-alley spare conversion of the 10-pin. MacPherson with a good shot on the right-hand lane, but left the half 10, and she really could have opened up some running room if she'd have struck there.
Yeah, she could. She got the break on the Brooklyn strike the frame before, and she just paid it back with that one. Not quite getting the finish, the 6-pin lane in the channel. They're not easy, Denny. Not able to hit lane 29 as of yet. She's gone to the left side both her times.
Gives this one a little more room, tries to sneak it up, and oh boy.
Making the adjustment from the crossover hit last time.
Well, we're talking about hitting a board or two here and there.
That's exactly right. You're talking about not area out here to hit. You're talking about boards. And the shot just never got up there. Once again, you see the ball just sliding. Almost making it. Not quite. Ooh.
So an open in the 8th. Miss of the 2-5-8. And Tish Johnson goes from trailing by 6 to leading by 5.
And that's what you like to do on the bench.
You bet. It's an easy way to get it done.
Tish looking now for the strike here. To put any type of pressure. Keep her lead. Ooh.
Right back the other way.
Her ball also going very long and not finishing. Danny, as the play, the more play on the lane conditioner starts to carry down farther and farther, and we don't see the break in the back end. And here we really never saw much of a break in the beginning, but it's starting to get worse. And as you can see, the players are not getting their balls up to the head end.
Well, I think that's probably what makes the sport of bowling as difficult as it is, especially under the national television lights, the fact that the lane conditioner continues to move gradually, for the most part, all over the lanes, up and down and across, and you basically have to make those adjustments by reading the ball reaction, and that's very difficult to do.
Yes, it is. Sometimes you're not sure it's the ball. You think it may be me, you know, it may be maybe a little too fast or maybe a little too slow, instead of just taking it as you see it. Say, hey, that ball didn't hook up there. It's the lane. It's not necessarily me.
Well, for many years, they've always said, let your ball be your guide, and no, that may be the worst break of the tournament. A pocket 7-10 split Tish Johnson beside herself right now, and that is a very big break indeed for Wendy MacPherson, because that comes in the 9th frame.
That was a super shot. She just blows the 5 right into the 10, however, blowing it in front of the 10. Look at that. 3 or 4 pins went to it, and she was not happy with that.
Giving the fans a bit of a thrill here. Last time I saw the 7-10 picked up on national television, it was provided by Mr. Mark Roth.
He did a little differently, however.
Yeah,
he hit it in the pit, and it came out. Here you see, just touching the edge.
Have you ever made the 7-10, Leanne?
Yes, but the 6 was standing, and I chopped it off the 6. Good, huh?
That's
Out of the pit, Dick.
a classy way to do it. Oh, big shot now. Oh. Great Church jumps up now on lane 30, and this one is a give and a takeaway at this stage.
I tell you.
My.
Oh, my is right. I tell you, they have the fans going here. Wendy playing that point shot. You know, 1 minute the ball will be sliding, next minute she hits the dry area on the lane, and it just takes off, cutting right through the heart of the pins.
Now, count now becomes a very vital factor in this one. Get as many as you possibly can.
Ooh.
And when I say that, she doesn't quite get that accomplished. So both players right now just scrambling to keep their heads above water. And it's a 7-pin lead for Wendy MacPherson heading into the 10th frame. And obviously, if she throws a double in any kind of count, she can close Tish Johnson out. But I'm not so sure we're going to see a double from either player.
No, doubles are not coming very frequently here, Denny.
Oh, more speed on the left-hand lane, and Wendy with a touch of a high hit, but strikes on the first shot, and this one could really make life miserable for Tish Johnson.
I tell you what, she did get the break there. A little bit more speed, got the pins a-flying, because that almost was the big four.
Winner of this match to take on 20-year-old Leanne Barrette out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for the Queens Championship. That was trouble. So Tish Johnson still has an opportunity to get to the title game. It's just a question of what she's going to need.
Tish Johnson is now sitting in the same position Cindy Coburn was last game, Danny. We'll see if her luck is any different than Cindy's.
She'll need at least 2 strikes and 7, depending on what Wendy does here. So for Wendy MacPherson, a game of 173. Obviously below her standards, but it still may be good enough to vault her into the title match.
It's not necessarily the score, Denny. It's whether you win or lose. And that's how it's been all week with this double elimination format.
So a double and 7. Double and 6, and we've got a tie.
And that's possible.
Well, the 6 she got, the double, not quite. So it's through the nose, the double pinochle, Wendy MacPherson pondering her future, and it's looking much brighter right now because she'll advance into the championship game. And our finalists at this point in time have all finished up exactly where they qualified. Nikki Gianulias, number 5, Cindy Coburn, number 4. Tish Johnson will take home a nice check for the number 3 position, and obviously be a little disappointed. Lanes breaking down and changing from shot to shot, and the conditions very difficult indeed for these professionals. And they're going to be tested here in the title game, which is coming up in just a moment or so, between Wendy MacPherson and Leanne Barrette out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Stay tuned. The Queens Championship is up for grabs.
Prism brings you greetings from Hollywood. Now get 2 months of all the glitter, all the glamour of Tinseltown for the price of 1. Through the modern miracle of cable TV, Prism brings great movies into your living room. In fact, Prism is mostly movies. This month, Prism has the year's hottest movie, Dirty Dancing. And see Michael J. Fox in The Secret of My Success. But that's not all. With Prism, you'll also see exclusive home team home games, all in the comfort of your own home. Operators are standing by, so call this number and order Prism. You'll get 2 months for the price of 1. It's like a month of Prism free. Call now and get special savings on installation, and you'll get action, adventure, and your favorite stars from the silver screen. You may never stand in line at the box office again, and your family will love you for it. Prism, movies, 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 and exclusive home team sports.
Nice shot, Jeannie.
Nice shot, Walter Ray.
Jeannie Maiden and Walter Ray Williams are proud to introduce the Ebonite Gyro 1 Blue-Gray and the Lady Ebonite, 100% urethane, priced much less than most urethane balls. High performance at a great value.
You can't buy a better ball at a better price. Right, Walter Ray?
Right, Jeannie.
The Gyro 1 Blue-Gray and the Lady Ebonite, pure power. Strike after strike after strike.
Budweiser and Bud Light join with USA Today to give baseball fans something new. Now, for the first time, you can also pick up an official All-Star fan ballot free wherever you pick up Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite Major League players. Then, test your baseball trivia and win valuable prizes.
Answers are in USA Today every day.
So fans, settle back with a cold Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite All-Stars and be part of a baseball tradition.
Bet you can't guess what I do for a living. I'll bet you can't guess what I do for a living. Want to know what I do for a living?
They play Major League Volleyball, the fastest sport on the court. Teams in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Phoenix, and San Jose.
Major League Volleyball. Come out and see it sometime.
.481 players started this week, and now we're down to just the final two, so either Leanne Barrette or Wendy MacPherson will wear the diamond crown.
And this crown goes to the winner. Crown the queen.
Leanne Barrette, your first good look at her, still finishing up with her practice shots on the championship pair. And if you haven't yet had a chance to watch this young lady bowl, you are in for a very special treat. She can flat rip it, and she knows where it's going.
She was very impressive when she came out on the tour. She came out in the fall of '86, struggled a little bit, which happens to a lot of young players when they first come out. And last year, she was able to capture 3 LTPA titles, along with the LTPA Rookie of the Year, and also the WIBC All Events title, which is a very prestigious title there.
Only 20 years of age, conferring right now with Fran Wolf of the LPBT to determine which lane that she will start or finish on. Very likable young lady. As a matter of fact, these two champions, look at this, a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old battling for the Queens Championship. So Wendy MacPherson will start on the left-hand lane. And this one, I think it's safe to say, is up for grabs.
I'm not going to predict anything. I'm through predicting.
Stay away from that one, huh?
That's right.
Not a high-scoring match, but very close. Both players had a chance to close each other out. Just a question of surviving. 2-4-5 on the left-hand lane.
We saw 4 major splits in the end of the last game there, Denny, and I think Wendy's just trying to compensate for that and at least stay on the right-hand side of the pins.
Well, as we mentioned, two contrasting styles here. Wendy MacPherson, a fairly straight player up the boards with the ball. She'll belly at a touch from time to time, but Leanne Barrette's going to hook it 15 boards no matter what.
But, Denny, both players set the ball just over the foul line, and this is the characteristic that I saw working this week.
Trying to get the ball to roll a little earlier?
Yes. Get to see a great shot of Leanne's approach here as well. She starts the ball very low, not much of a push away, pushing the ball straight down. She gets her strength from her height, her long arms, and she's got great knee bend. Low at the line.
Basically played a little further out all week long, but she opens for the strike, and first time I had a chance to meet this young lady was 2 years ago in Edmond, Oklahoma at Boulevard Bowl, and the man who introduced me to her was Gary Dickinson. He said, Denny, you're going to meet one of the finest junior players anywhere in the world, and here are the results of her work this week. 6 consecutive match play wins, and that's why she's the #1 seed.
That's right. She is the only player out of 481 players that went undefeated.
Trying to make it 7-0.
That's right.
If she does, she wins.
Just a great amount of revolutions on the ball, as you can see here. Getting the ball way out, and oh my gosh. And that sometimes the revolutions can hurt you. Her ball just drove so hard in the bat. As you can see here, going way out to the one board, and here it's going to take a left turn, and it just keeps driving left. That ball was supposed to take out that 9-pin.
What did I tell you about arcing the ball?
She arcs it.
That was on the half board at about 45 feet.
You haven't seen much finish from any of these other players, and Leanne creates her own finish, doesn't she?
Yeah, she brings her own with her.
Yes. That's nice. Nice to have.
That was more the angle that she played, at least through most of yesterday when she really bowled well. She was playing the 1 and 2 board and kind of banking the gutter.
She had a lot of problem in qualifying. She said she was in deeper, and once she moved out, she was okay.
I think Wendy realizing that you're not going to be able to wait too long to start throwing some strikes because Leanne will just run over. Well, not exactly the way it's diagrammed up in the free shot routine, but nevertheless, it's 10 in and around the pit.
That's right. Wendy's still playing the line around the 10 board there in the ball. Hitting that dry area, the center of the lane, and it just crosses over.
The important thing is, though, if you look at that shot through a mirror, it's back on the right side of the pocket.
That's true.
The left-hand lane's been a struggle, and the wall shot now. The 5 is going to finally drop, and that was the biggest break thus far this afternoon.
I tell you what, her ball is deflecting as it hits the head pin right there, and what pin was that came off the wall? 2 of them were just rocking that 5 pin, and it fell.
A little double team action on the 5 pin, and there's the final result. Wendy says, yes.
Usually those double team actions turn out for the worst. They help hold that pin up.
So it's a big double and a 10-pin lead for Wendy MacPherson.
See how low Leanne holds the ball. Seeing the ball short, not getting the ball as far out. Now that's the area that gal just created for herself. You see, she went very hard and direct that time. And the amount of speed, it helped.
She's already gained my respect because, believe me, she's playing 29 and 30 a lot differently. Swinging lane 29 and playing 30 up and at him a little bit, and that takes some talent.
Yes, it does.
I wonder if Wendy's worried more about this match or getting married in February.
That's right. She set her date. February 11th, I believe she said.
Looking for the double and to come right back in this match. Wanted it to come up in a hurry, and the 2-pin remains.
If she was trying to do what she did last time on lane 29, she didn't get the ball far enough out to the right. Here, good shot. See how low she gets the ball. She actually walks crooked, 1 foot over the other. But super, super extension and knee bend.
Well, watch that wrist float a little bit in the backswing, too.
Mm-hmm.
Thumb doesn't stay in a locked-in position. Opens way up and then closes. Here, you see it? Right around it.
She does open a little bit. Oh!
Oh, my.
And Leanne hitting the center of the lane, that dry area. Saw a lot of people miss a lot of spares to the left.
Now, one thing is for sure, you miss 1-pin spares in the championship match, and you've got some problems.
You see her laying it down. It looked like it was going to hold, but then it hits about the 15th board, and the ball just starts to dive. Mm-hmm. Even before that, about the 13th.
Could extend the lead to 32 if she strikes on lane 30.
Wendy catching 2 breaks in a row. A Brooklyn, a 5-pin. Check that one out, Danny. That was just packed.
Well, we mentioned her prestigious match play record on television. She is 7-0 heading into today. She's already won 1. That's 8-0, and she's in the process of making it 9 and zip. And, of course, 3 of those
nice
wins
record.
in there would be for tournament championships, too.
That's right. U.S. Open, her first time on television, her second time on television, the AMF Virginia Classic.
Yep. It's funny because she told me, she said, Denny, I'm more nervous during the week bowling and then a lot of times in match play than I am when I get to the telecast for whatever reason. And that's really a blessing in disguise because most players are exactly the opposite.
Yes, and Wendy really hasn't had a great year so far in 88. Her high finish this year has been 17th. So she started off struggling a little bit.
Sailing right along. And at this point, the last thing that she would want to do would be to miss a spare here and there to give Leanne a little opening.
That's right. I think she just wants to stay clean. She got the break, got the turkey. And it's going to be tough for Leanne to catch a turkey here. Mentioned earlier, talking to her, she did not want to get down in a match. Because she said she wasn't very good under pressure. But she's only 20 years old, and I think in a few years she'll be great under pressure. Here you see her walking a little bit crooked. Drifts to the left. Sending the ball out to the right. The pin coming. And the crowd was cheering for that one to get over.
Message not quite delivered that time to the 10.
Here you can see her open up her shoulder as well. Right here in her third step. Her shoulder's going to open up, and then she closes again. Her thumb getting on top of the ball a little. She comes right around it. Perfect position when she hits the line.
Well, again, it's like anything else, too. You can do a lot of things until you get to the foul line, but if you've got everything in the right spot at the bottom of the swing, it really doesn't make much difference.
No, it doesn't, and that's the key.
She also has an unusual stance in that she's got her feet pointed dead right when she starts the original approach. Wendy MacPherson leading by 30. This one's far from over, though, because Wendy has struggled a little bit in the championship pair. Leanne Barrette can throw some strikes.
We saw her have the first 8 strikes, I believe, earlier this week. She shot a 260. 9 game. Something on the lane down near the pins. Called to get it off. You're right, Denny. She lines up facing the right, and I haven't seen her bowl enough to know if she does this when she's trying to play a different line other than the outside line. However, you are supposed to line up to face your target, so, you know, she definitely does that.
Well, I watched her most of the last couple of days, and she did it on virtually every step. She straightens it up a little bit as she starts her first step, but maybe it's just the way that she feels comfortable. Good shot there on the left-hand lane.
Yes, it is. And here you see her drifting a little bit to the left again, getting through the ball. The ball extending a little bit farther out that time than it did last time she hit lane 29 and just crunch in the pocket.
Well, it's beautiful when you watch those pins, when they don't fly, when they go straight back, you know you're really in dead stroke.
Wendy looking to get in dead stroke here. She crunched the last shot on this lane. See if she can do it again.
Baby split now on the right-hand lane, and as I mentioned before, this one's far from over.
Definitely. Wendy's not exactly lined up. She carried the Brooklyn, the wall shot, and
she's just trying to make the best of an opportunity, I would think.
That's right.
The key goal for any of the professionals or amateurs as you enter the tournament is always to get to the title game. That's first and foremost. Baby split provides some opposition, so the first opening in the title game for Wendy MacPherson reduces her lead now to 17, and keep in mind Leanne Barrette's on strike.
Wendy holding the ball very high and pushing the ball straight out. Definite opposite of Leanne Barrette. And a good shot on lane 29. I think that was a key shot for her in the 7th frame.
Well, I think any time you open, especially in a title match, the next shot is really critical.
Oh, definitely. You do not want to give your opponent 2 openings while she's sitting on the bench.
Well, the lead could be cut to just 7 pins if Leanne Barrette strikes on the right-hand lane.
Not striking on this lane as of yet.
Leanne qualified 15th place this week.
Oh, I take that back. She struck twice on this lane, and she struck a 3rd time to give herself a double.
Just destroyed the rack on the right-hand lane. And that may have been her best shot of the match. And there you see the lopsided victory, and that one was for the top seed position last evening, and it was almost over before it started.
But this one's for $10,000, Denny, and it's only 1 game. Those other matches are 4-game matches.
Right, that's true. It's only a 1-game match, but I think the pressure of being the top seed deserves some credit as well. That's not an easy thing to do.
Oh.
Obviously, you're guaranteed second-place money.
Definitely.
This one to climb right back on top.
Getting that ball out farther, and she got the break on the 2 pin. Ooh, did she create area there? Here you see, not quite getting up high enough to hit the pocket. She had all those pins dancing. That 1 pin just came off the wall and tripped it 2. She just watches it. Yeah.
Well, better late than never. And so she leads by 3, but momentum could swing back in the other direction with a double for Wendy MacPherson. Pretty good shot from Wally, and these 2 now have decided to make a match of this as they head down to the home stretch.
Well, this is where the true professionals come out, Denny. It's down to the home stretch, and they are going to make a match. They're carrying everything. The adrenaline's flowing. They're throwing the ball harder. As you can see here, the ball's deflecting, not driving through the head pin. However, it didn't take a driver there, did it?
For 3 in a row, lots of speed. Oh, my goodness, a solid 8-pin. Well, we've seen a solid 9 and a solid 8, and that one jumped up at an inopportune time.
That had to be about the best shot that Wendy MacPherson has thrown in the 2 games. And that 5-pin, supposed to be taking out that 8-pin, just blows right in front of it. Wendy MacPherson couldn't have thrown it any better.
The important thing, cover the spare, go back, sit down, and regroup. 224, the best possible game that Wendy MacPherson could post if she would strike out in the 10th. And Leanne Barrette operating right now at a 238 clip if she would strike out.
And can close out the match. Right. Leanne Barrette is up now, 9th frame. And that's what she wanted to do. She did not want to finish this match.
Get out there, post the score, and see what happens.
Taking a little extra time. It's a big shot for this young lady. And she just rips the rack on that one.
There you see the disappointment written all over Wendy MacPherson's face. That's the one tough thing about the sport of bowling. There's nothing you can do.
No, and Leanne Barrette couldn't have thrown this one any better as well. Her ball driving into the pocket. Just throwing that 5 out.
Wendy MacPherson, 21, Leanne Barrette, 20. Oh, we've got another decade or 2 of watching these 2 young champions perform on national television. It's been a treat here this afternoon.
Leanne Barrette looking for the first 2 strikes to close up the match.
I think lane 29 has been the better of the 2 lanes as far as getting the ball back.
She got the ball farther out to the right that time, and oh! And this is an example of what you see when the ball is driving so hard in the back end.
Yeah, you see the look of chagrin on her face.
The ball just cutting through the 3-pin, and leaving her with the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, and not an easy conversion.
You can make it, but it's a little luck.
She went, oh, no.
Look at Wendy. She's already trying to relax just a little bit, come down, realize that she's going to have a chance.
Wendy needs to stay out of trouble when she gets up. Right now, it's whatever this player does. She's going to convert it. Oh, a good effort.
Well, disaster strikes in the 10th frame for Leanne Barrette.
199. And it was the pin count there, Denny, that really hurt her.
Wendy MacPherson needs a mark.
Wendy MacPherson needs good count.
Rifles it right up the track. And there's the shot that's going to clinch the championship. And Wendy MacPherson defies all odds, Leanne Wagner, and wins again 9 consecutive matches on television. But more importantly, she captures the queen.
I tell you what, Lady Luck is with this lucky lady. She just tripped the 4-9.
Oh, look at the smile on her face. Well, it doesn't make any difference. It's all academic. We'll be back. The winner, Wendy MacPherson, and she'll collect a check worth over $10,000. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How can you help build a better women's professional bowling tour? By joining the new Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Booster Club.
As a Booster Club member, you'll receive an official LPBT Booster Club t-shirt, a subscription to LPBT Booster Club newsletter, a copy of LPBT's souvenir program book, and much, much more.
To help build a stronger women's tour, send your check or money order for $30 to this address. Or better yet, call 1-800-333-LPBT to enroll today. Visa and MasterCard are accepted.
It's impossible to wait for nice weather when your cookouts are catered by True Value hardware stores. This Weber One-Touch kettle cooks in outdoor flavor anytime, with bonus accessories just $69.99. Hardwood arms trim this high-back chair by Almond Lawn Light, only $19.99. And the matching shades, $29.99. When the weather clears, accent your landscape with a set of 6 TrueGuard tier lights with an automatic timer, just $76.99 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The upset of the week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. At 73 years of age, trainer Charlie Whittingham had never won a Kentucky Oaks race. Whittingham's entry this year was 3-year-old filly Goodbye Halo, the only horse this year to defeat the eventual Kentucky Derby champ, Winning Colors. Down the stretch, she outdistances her stablemate, Jeannie Jones, and the race favorite, Willa on the Move, for the victory at the Kentucky Oaks. Our Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Mom, where's my other red sock?
Oh, it's just a little stomach thing.
Mom!
I'm late.
I have to wear red socks or I'll look like a nerd.
I knew it. You're sick.
I forgot how bad diarrhea feels.
Don't worry. All you need is this.
Here it comes. The soothing relief of Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need.
Feeling better?
A-okay.
Great. Now, if I could only find Susie's red sock.
Did you look in the laundry?
Our radiant queen, Wendy MacPherson, to your left, already has the crown on and being congratulated there by outgoing WIBC President Ellen Baker. A big check for over $10,000. A sensational week for a smiling Wendy MacPherson. So long, everybody, from Reno, Nevada. The LPBT on ESPN has been brought to you by True Value Hardware. It's more than our name, it's our way of doing business. And don't forget to check your local listings this coming summer on ESPN for the PBA and LPBT summer tours. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Stay tuned for live second round coverage of the United Hospitals Classic next on ESPN.